lived to see my college graduation. And 8 years ago, my life changed. And I want to tell you about that today. In March of 2005, I was 16 years old. I was a sophomore in high school. I was a picture of health. I'd been very healthy as a child, and growing up, hardly ever went to the doctor. And in March of that year, I kind of started feeling that way. I was very active in school and church. I was an athlete, was involved in the community, and I was just enjoying being a high school student. In May of that year, it all changed. Between the months of March and May, I experienced some random illnesses, minor, and after several misdiagnoses, I had a CAT scan done that revealed a tumor on my liver. And after doctors removed this 9.6-pound tumor from my liver, they discovered that it was in fact cancerous. I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. It's an undifferentiated sarcoma of the liver. And so, as you can imagine, I was obviously in a state of shock. That's something that I never imagined would happen to me. I knew that cancer, was a possibility. I had grandparents that had cancer, but I certainly never imagined that it would be something that I would have to go through as a child or as a teen. In this state of shock, my surgery was done at Eggleston Children's Hospital in Atlanta, and it was sort of a natural transition for us to just move right into the Aflac Cancer Center since we were already there. We were obviously very thorough in our research about where I should go to have treatment, and after researching all the opportunities, all the places to go, Atlanta was the best place. So we transitioned into the Aflac Cancer Center, and they were so helpful in kind of helping us move forward and figure out what was going to be next. My doctor, Dr. Howard Katzenstein, he actually is a liver oncology specialist, and my cancer was a very rare form of cancer. There wasn't necessarily just a protocol that we went to figure out how to treat it. So he actually developed a treatment plan specifically for my type of cancer, which was just another blessing as we were part of the Aflac Cancer Center. So I did chemotherapy treatments from June to December that year. It was a very tough process for me. It wasn't maybe quite as tough as I thought it was going to be, or as they told me it might be, but it was very tough having to go to Atlanta for 5 days every 3 weeks and stay in the hospital, especially for someone who's very active and who is not used to sitting around. It was a very tough thing to do. But I finished it up in December of 2005. I've been clear of cancer since then. In 2010, December 2010, I was declared cured of cancer. So I'm very thankful for that. And I look back on it and know that it could have been so much worse. And as I look back on my experience with that, I kind of identify a few things that helped me to sort of get through it, I guess. Some things that provided inspiration for me. The first thing that I relied on heavily was attitude. And you think, oftentimes in life when we're faced with, challenges or tough situations, people are like, well, have a good attitude going into it. And, a lot of times we're like, whatever. Everyone says that, have a good attitude. But the folks at the Aflac Cancer Center said, it's going to be a tough process, but we have seen that sometimes having a good attitude can really play a pretty big role in how you deal with it. So I gave it a shot. I don't think I really believed that it would help, but I gave it a shot. And I found that it made a huge difference. The folks at the Aflac Cancer Center all had incredible attitudes about their work, about what they did, and about helping the patients that were there. And that attitude just infiltrated throughout my whole experience, through my life, through my family's lives, going throughout the whole process. So that was the first thing, attitude. The second thing was support. We all know that we have support from our family and friends. We all support our family and friends. But I don't think that a lot of people realize how much support they actually have until they go through something like this. Before I went through it, I knew that I had a strong family, a strong church family, and a lot of people who really cared a lot about me. But going through something like this really showed me that people really do care. People that I didn't even know, that either my parents knew, that I had never met, or even people that none of us knew who just saw my story on the internet or something. Providing the support was just an incredible feeling. So that was the second thing. The third thing that really played a pretty big role for me was my faith. I had a very strong faith going into the whole process. I was pretty devout in my faith in Jesus and my faith in God. And going through this whole thing, as soon as everything started, that was kind of where I fell back to immediately. And it played a huge role in how I dealt with it. So those three things were pretty big roles, and I guess I should also mention that one other thing that was a pretty big help was the Aflac cancer policy. See, when I was 5 years old, my parents added an Aflac cancer policy to our insurance. And little did they know, I don't think they ever thought they would use it for me. I think they really did it for them. But lo and behold, I was the one who had to use it first. And it was just a huge blessing to have that security, to know that, I mean, because all the stuff that you go through with cancer, with any kind of medical treatment, is so expensive. And just to go into this knowing we don't have to worry about that, it's taken care of. The Aflac cancer policy just played a huge role in that and really helped a lot. So I mean, that's a firsthand experience right there of why the policies that Aflac has are so important, and they really do help people, and they mean a lot. So those three things were, along with the cancer policy, were pretty important. Another thing that was big for me was music. I've been a pretty hardcore musician from really birth. I play several instruments and I've played them in all different kind of settings. But for me, music is a release. It's just a way that I can kind of get away from the stresses of everyday life. And this really helped me as I was going throughout this process. I got the opportunity to play at the Aflac Cancer Center a few times throughout my treatment process, and it was really cool to be able to play for some of the patients who were there, some of the families who were there, and just to see the way that it kind of brightened their day, just even this little bit, was just awesome. So, feeding off that passion for music, I'm going to share a song with you today that I wrote. I wrote this song as I was kind of starting my treatment process, I guess, and kind of going off of what Cordell said, just taking every opportunity and making the best of it. And the name of the song is called Your Last. And like I said, I wrote it as I was kind of starting my whole treatment process, knowing that I was experiencing a near-death experience. And looking at the opportunities that we're all faced with in life, we all have chances to do something great. We all have opportunities to help others. And thinking about all those after you've been in a situation that I've been in, you realize that we should all just take advantage of those opportunities and make the best of them, because we never know when our last day might be. We never know when our last opportunity to help someone, to do something great for someone else will be. So, I want to share this song with you. And as I said, I wrote it as I was beginning my treatment process, as I was kind of just starting to go through it, as I was kind of reflecting back on my life. And I hope you enjoy it. It's called Your Last. I watch the world go by. It hurts so deep in me. So many people are wrong. guess to just kind of wrap things up, I just want to encourage you. I want to thank you. I want you to know that what you do makes a difference every single day. It really does. And if you haven't known that before now, then you should know now, because I'm a perfect example of the type of people it helps. It really does make a difference. I want to thank you so much for your support of the Aflac Cancer Center, of the Aflac Cancer policies. It really does affect lives. And I want to encourage you to get involved and continue your support of this. I don't know if you know this or not, but 100% of everything that you donate is going directly to research for these innovative technologies, for these innovative therapies, and better treatment than what we have today and what we've had in the past. You know, we've come so far in the past few years, the past several years. Even since I finished my treatment, we've come so far. But we still have a long way to go. We still need your help. If you see in front of you, you've got a statement donation form. And for those of you who are already giving, I know a lot of you do, as Diane says, is one of the top giving states, is the top giving state in the territory, and that's incredible. And I thank you for that. But for those of you that are already giving, I want to just, again, say thanks. And I hope